Hey friends, Greg here with the Pennywise guys. We're restoring a 79 Lincoln Versailles interior. I'm going to restore the armrests, the broken apart dash, and all the vinyl work on the dash. This video is going to start with the armrests. Let's get started. What I got to do here, this is the armrest for this door panel, okay? And it is all busted up. Yeah, well, excuse me here. It's just all the plastic parts are broken. It's plastic and it's all broken apart. And so before he has this recovered with vinyl upholstery, to obviously it's in bad shape, but I've got to try to rebuild these plastic parts that are all broken up. The first thing we're going to do to make these repairs is to take a razor blade and trim off the vinyl upholstery so it looks like this, so we can get to the broken pieces that are all broken up here. And then there is foam, adhesive and foam underneath here, and you need to cut that away every place where we're going to do some plastic welding, the first step. We have all these broken areas in the plastic. This one's not nearly as bad as this one, but we have to get that all cleaned out. So take a sharp razor, get all that cut out, okay? Cut the vinyl away, like that, okay? And so we're gonna clean up these areas and we're gonna do plastic welding. I've already got this other one cleaned up, so we'll go ahead and start with this. Okay, and you can see how broken up it is. It's just all broken up everywhere. Even over here, it's broken up. Over here, it's just a mess. We're gonna do a lot of plastic welding, and then after it's all welded, then we're gonna go ahead and put a 1/8" plate, steel backing plate attached to it to reinforce it. But the first step is to get the welding done. Being that I can't weld it from the other side because of the upholstery, I want the upholsterer that upholsters this not to have this taken off. I want him to be able to pattern all this with the new upholstery. So I just trim it off here, and we're gonna only weld it on one side. And to plastic weld, you need at least a good soldering iron. This one is a 60-watt adjustable wattage, and so I got it all the way to 60 watts. This one comes with multiple tips. I like this because the tip I use is got that flat edge, not a sharp point, but a flat edge. I like that one best. And I use zip ties as a filler. The black plastic zip ties with this black plastic, it really does well. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this piece and show you how this is done. I'm going to tack it together first in place, and then we'll start adding the let's see if you can see that or not. I'm just going to poke the tip of it down in there to melt through, okay, to melt through the plastic all the way to the other side, okay. And then turn it over flat and just kind of fill that in a little bit, get it to where you get good depth penetration on the weld. And I'll see that thing is already attached. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that along the edge here and poke it through. I can show you. Just get it poked through, so you're actually getting a good penetration on that weld. Okay. And then we'll come back and we'll fill that in with some the black plastic zip tie to fill that in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that there. It looks like I got to do a little bit here, so I'm just poking it down almost all the way through to get it attached to the side and give a little bit of a void there till we can fill that with the black plastic zip tie. Okay. That thing is, see, it's already attached, but to reinforce it here, you just take a zip tie and you melt it in. I'm going to see if I can show you here. See if that got, yeah, you can be able to see that okay. Just put that on the zip tie, just melt it right in there. Get that. Sorry about the dog barking. I'm talking, he's barking. He's my guard dog. Anyway, just melt this black plastic zip tie into that crevice that I created when I poked it through. That way we're getting a good amount of fill into the crack. Okay, we'll come back and smooth it out later, but we're going to try to get this filled in there. We can take that flat part of that iron, we can smooth it out just like that. Okay, so you see that? That's done. And we're going to continue the process here. Okay, we're going to get that filled in there. And I got a whole packet of zip ties. I buy these online, a pack of 100 for like $6 on Amazon. These are good quality zip ties. I use them for my work. I've got tons of them around, but I like these zip ties. They're UV protected. Better than the clear. I like them for doing construction work. Okay, there. Let's smooth this out a little bit there. That area is completed. Now it is really solid. Now we're going to bring this piece up here and weld it, but right now, just that there is pretty solid. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue down here, get this filled in. This is a restoration that on car parts, old cars. This is a car project for my dad. My mom and dad bought a brand new 79 Lincoln Versailles, brand new from the dealer back in 79 for their wedding anniversary. So it was something that was very special to them. They kept the car all these years, and it is now time to restore this car. My dad has just got done restoring a 65 Mustang, and he's gotten into restoring, but his things like this that he just can't do. And so I'm giving him a hand on restoring the interior parts. You can't buy these parts, they're just not available. If you can find them, they're probably in as bad as condition as this one. But its original upholstery is amazing, the paint upholstery on this vehicle. But we're doing the entire upholstery job inside and out with the vinyl top. And then we'll touch up and buff out the paint, because original paint is in pretty good shape. We'll touch it up and buff it out. And we'll have a pretty decent car for them again to enjoy in their later years here. A car that they have a lot of sentimental value to it. Okay, so when you have to rebuild parts, and I'm going to be doing the dash, I got to rebuild the plastic on the dash, and in the whole interior, all the plastic components are just breaking apart. So I'm going to be restoring this for my dad. Okay, that is real good. Okay, I'm gonna fill. I forgot one spot here. We'll fill this in right here. Okay. Okay, that's good for right now. We'll go ahead and do the rest. Let me go ahead and tack this up here. Get this tacked in when it'll fill it all in. So we're going to tack it. My dad just happened to show up, so he's here watching this, and he's very interested in how this process is going. So, okay, that's all tacked in. We're going to tack this over here. I got to pull it together because it's separated. Let's see if I can do. Hey, Dad, can you give me a hand? Why don't you hold that right there? And I'm going to push on this. You push that in. I'm going to push on this. Okay, let's get this lined up. There we go, right there. It's good to have an extra set of hands for this, because this thing is just broken apart. We're going to tack it up here too, and then we'll fill it in. Okay, let's let go and let's see if it holds. Yep, there we go. And okay, we're seeing. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this next spot. And Dad, I just filled all that in.
Sure, looks good.
So we're going to go ahead and take. Oh, it broke apart. So let's try that again. I didn't tack it. Right there. That's
pretty badly broken.
Yeah, it is. It is. Good. Just tack that there. Let's tack this again. This piece here is really busted up quite a bit. There it is. Go ahead and get. And our dog wants to get involved too. Let me tack this over here again. Okay, let's see if that'll hold. Okay. Oh. Boy, this is...
Get too much stress on it.
Yeah, I got to really feel. That's why we're going to reinforce it with a metal plate. And alright. So let that cool before I let go. Okay. Once you hang on to it there, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this in.
That's amazing.
Hey, I found something, a little trick here that I just learned. This part here was missing. And so what I'm doing, I'm just decided to go ahead and see if I can fill this big gap and just build it up. And it's been working. So I just been going back and forth, melting the plastic in from side to side, building this thing up. It's taken me a few minutes, but hey, it might help to reinforce to have this piece in there so it won't break again. I might bend this down and do the same thing here, but just wanted to show you this little trick here. If you just melt it to the one edge, just melt it in and just melt it across and just use the filler, the zip tie filler, to go across just like that. Just keep going side to side. Just keep melting it in. Get it into the parent material here originally, and then just use that filler to fill it across. And the zip tie is, when it's melted and dries, it's pretty rigid. And just get that melted in there across the edge and just fill that in. And I'll come back and I'll smooth this out later after I get it all built up. You can take the flat part of your iron and just smooth it out like this. See, just smooth that out once you get it filled in. Okay, so now I'm just going to keep going at this, but I think you can rebuild missing parts or missing voids here using the zip tie as the filler material. And my days of fabricating welding, I almost became a certified welder, and never thought about welding plastic, but it's the same principle of just melt it in your filler material to your parent material. See how that's filling in? So I'm just going to keep it going around the edge, and I'll go all the way down so you'll have that strength of that corner, which would give it more rigidity there. And I'll go ahead and I'll do the same thing over here, straighten this out with a heat gun, straighten it out, fill this in, and then you have that stability. And I'll put a plate across there and we'll go from there. Just wanted to show you that, so that's kind of cool. Alright, we're all completed with the plastic welding phase of this project. I'm going to zoom in here and show you the finished results. I rebuilt that corner with the zip ties, and that over here, and I welded that all up here. And this thing is really solid now. Okay, it's all, everything's cleaned off. I mentioned I was going to go ahead and reinforce this with some 1/8 inch steel plate, and so I clean off the edges where we're going to be gluing and attaching that to the armrest. Here's the other one. It only had a few spots that needed to be welded, here and over here, and so that one will have a smaller reinforcement plate. And then the center console was all broken apart, and so I went ahead and re-glued all the pieces back in. I mean, this was all broken out in two places here. This whole area was gone, so it's all really nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and reinforce that as well with a metal plate, because the bolts go through here, and that's why it breaks out, because it's bolting plastic to a metal bracket on the floor of the car, and that motion back and forth just breaks the breaks the plastic out after 43 years. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce that as well with a metal plate. So we'll go ahead and get the plate patterned out and cut and prepared, and we'll go ahead and get it attached. I pray that you are blessed and that you know Him who is the author of life.